Airbnb announcing an anti-party crackdown plan in Missouri for the upcoming holidays. Fox 2's Kelly Hoskins has more on what city leaders are saying about the announcement.
The Airbnb spokesperson says that this party prevention system will be in effect for the Memorial Day and 4th of July weekend. And they're hoping that this will cut down on disruptions in St. Louis.
It impacts primarily 1- and 2-night reservation attempts. So if, someone's booking a 30-day stay, that's less likely to be impacted by something here. But really honing in particular on those who do not have that long history of positive reviews on the platform.
The plan comes after concerns over short-term rental parties in the St. Louis area and other parts of the state.
Cracking down on disruptive parties and reducing the risk of disruptive parties is something that's very important to us as a platform. Certainly hosts don't want
He's trying so hard not to offend Black people. Like, just say it, man. Like, I know, I get what you're not saying, but you can say it. You don't have to be this careful. Like,
parties occurring in their listings, even if they are incredibly rare, and neighbors don't want that either. And neighbors are important parts of our community.
St. Louis Alderwoman Kara Spencer, whose 8th ward includes parts of downtown, says city leaders have addressed concerns surrounding Airbnbs and other short-term rentals.
When Airbnb is talking about regulating themselves, of course, I'm hopeful that can be effective, but, their goal is to make money, and they're not here on the streets of St. Louis. They're not here experiencing the mayhem.
Over the past few months, our news crews have been covering issues regarding illegal short-term rental parties, some of which have turned violent, like this one caught on video.
Okay, so now let's see who's, God damn. Sons, man. These are sons, man.
Turned violent, like this one caught on video. St. Louis officials say they are at a breaking point when it comes to these celebrations that end in chaos.
Good looking.
We have introduced a bill. It's a starting point.
Yo, she rocked her shit.
Yeah, that girl can punch.
Yeah, she hit her good. Damn.
We have introduced a bill. It's a starting point, and I'm hoping that we can really have some discussions very quickly here, some in-depth, perspective from the community about how to make sure that our restrictions have a lot of teeth.
Airbnb says it piloted these measures during Memorial Day weekend last year and saw improvements. Reporting in downtown St. Louis, Kelly Hoskins.
I mean, like, everywhere you look, there's measures being taken to control this one group of people.
Control this problem that we really can't describe too well.
So unfortunate.
But that seems to be happening everywhere in the country.
By the same group of people.
Well, I learned it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
North County business has been the scene of deadly violence twice last week. Now, Fox 2's investigator Chris Hayes is learning new information about the reported owner of that business.
We began digging into how Uptown Market and Liquor here in North County could have so much violence outside.
And I bet you it's not owned by a Black person. Who wants to take the bet that it's owned by a non-Black person? There's no way this place is a business. It's no way it's owned by a Black person. No way.
Sure. Can we take bets on who? It's probably owned by some Egyptian guy.
Yeah, it's not a Black person.
Definitely not.
Even with this police surveillance camera watching,
most likely
then we learned the business owner.
Look at this police camera right here across, and it still had 5 people shot.
Oh yeah, I was just in New Orleans, and they got one set up at the fucking.
It makes for hell of a footage
on Charles Street. They got these portable cop cameras everywhere. And broken glass from all the stolen vehicles.
Look at this. I mean, it doesn't deter anything. This is something. Now, how much do these machines cost?
Oh, I'm sure it's very expensive. No way it's not.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. There's nothing that can be. But one thing I will give America, like that American spirit, we try. We keep trying. Like, they're trying to figure this thing out, man. Across the country from sea to shadow sea.
Watching. Then we learned the business owner was recently sentenced to 4 years in prison for the way he was running his businesses, and court records show he has yet to report to prison. This convenience store is the only food option for many people here in Glasgow Village.
Wait a second, the owners 4 years. It might be his son.
It's called Uptown. That might be his son.
Why you say that?
He's been sentenced to 4 years and he hasn't yet reported. That's his son, man.
This convenience store is the only food option for many people here in Glasgow Village, with the closest major grocery store about 3 miles away. 2 shootings just 4 days apart outside the market injured 5 people, killing 2.
Once the sun go down, you got to be in the house.
One of the victims was a store employee who is remembered by this memorial of balloons.
It was senseless. It was pointless.
Fox 2 began looking into whether the store can do more to keep shoppers safe. That's when we found St. Louis County assessor records list the owner here as Mohammed Al-Mutan.
Oh, yeah.
Egyptian. I told you, man. I called it.
I knew it was. I took the context cues and I fucking reneged on my initial fucking bet. God damn it.
But I mean, we kind of all figured this was the case, though. Let's be honest.
Nah, but the reporting, the lack of showing up for his conviction.
Yo, but
well, you don't think that's a Sandman?
Yeah,
but
that's not beyond that.
now,
It is a Sandman.
but it's a convience store, right, in the hood. Sandman.
It's a Sandman, man.
Yeah, it's a liquor
If it
store.
wasn't-
I mean, it's a
think
convenience
about this,
liquor
If it
store.
wasn't for the Sandman, there'd be no food in this area at all. No place.
Would that be a bad thing?
Yeah, nobody would get killed.
They're the only ones crazy enough to get robbed. And
hear
murdered.
about this shit
It would cut
anymore.
down on the diabetes, that's for sure. But
No, there wouldn't be food deserts. The reason why that's happening is because it's a food desert.
Yeah, this is an oasis in the food desert.
Yeah, there'd be
man.
raids on the surrounding counties. That's where they'd be.
Right.
But where'd they get
Is
their grape
known
soda
as
from,
the
yeah?
informant for the feds who blew the whistle on St. Louis.
They said he's an informant for the feds. Wow.
Mutan. Al-Mutan is known as the informant for the feds who blew the whistle on St. Louis aldermen taking money in exchange for favors. These are pictures of some of the deals. Former aldermanic president Lewis Reed taking
like this
cash,
guy.
as well as former alderman Jeffrey Boyd and John Collins Muhammad. All 3 are currently in federal prisons. But
wow, they in federal prison.
I like this Sandman.
Yo,
Fuck these corrupt motherfuckers.
Yo, he got
Nah,
these dudes.
that's crazy.
Wow, these dudes are in prison. Black politicians.
That's why he doesn't want to. That's why he's not reporting That's why he's not reporting to prison. He's gonna run into these guys.
Look at the work he put in.
Happy he worked out a deal, man. Look at that. He brought in those three guys. They're all politicians over there, man.
They're notoriously black politicians are notoriously corrupt. Man.
And they stopped in there because
Some
it's
of
the
the
only
deal.
place they could get lunch.
Yeah.
Former aldermanic president Lewis Reed taking cash, as well as former alderman Jeffrey Boyd and John Collins Muhammad. All 3 are currently in federal prisons. But not the informant, Mohammed Al-Mutan, which surprised us because Al-Mutan was sentenced to 4 years in prison himself after the dust settled in the alderman scandal. We were there in May 2017 when the feds raided some of Al-Mutan's stores, eventually leading to him pleading guilty to cigarette smuggling. A judge then sentenced Al-Mutan in October to 4 years in prison after considering the assistance he gave the government as an informant. Now we've learned Al-Mutan is appealing his sentence, and the court is allowing him to remain out on bond during his appeal. No comment from anyone in charge of the store, and Al-Mutan did not respond to my message I left on his cell phone. We're also checking with St. Louis County to see if they are looking at